All right, call Halalium La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Wahara giving double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who and where I learned this truth from, and to all the faithful locking throughout the four winds continue pushing. This video right here is going to be about a pledge and a vow that Sleepy Joe Biden made on September 1st. On RT News, it says here, Russia welcomes Biden's pledge that Afghanistan is end of era for United States interference abroad, saying world may be quieter in future. So this devil pledged and Biden pledged that they will not interfere in international or other people's business anymore. They won't go to anybody's land and take it over. They ain't not gonna go into nobody's land and dictate how they should live. So that's pretty much what this devil Joe Biden, the Edomite, is saying. And we know it's a damn lie. Okay, it's a damn lie. Esau Edom is a liar and the father of it. Matter of fact, let's grab that. Hold on. Damn. Matter of fact, let's grab this. Let's grab Zechariah. And I'm gonna go back into that article. So he pledges not to, because you know what's happening in Afghanistan. I'm getting into all of that. But he's pledging not to interfere in these nations or these countries, to not interfere with these nations or these countries any longer. And they said the world will be a quieter place. You know what that's telling you? That the white man, Esau Edom, has been terrorizing the world and made this place a very loud, noisy, and disruptive place to live. And that's basically what Esau Edom is telling you here. The Zechariah, let's grab Zechariah chapter 8, Zechariah chapter 8, starting at verse 16. I'm not going to get into the background and the history of this chapter here, because I still got to go over it. But I will do is go into these scriptures and to show you that Esau Edom is contrary to the Bible and the doings of the Bible and the law, statute, and commandments of the Bible. That's why they decree unrighteous decrees and make up laws as the days go by. They make up various laws, and they don't keep not even their own laws or their own constitution. They break their own constitution. They break their own amendments. They violate their own amendments. So it says here, Zechariah chapter 8 and verse 16. These are the things that he shall speak. Speak every man the truth to his neighbor. Right, so if America is calling Afghanistan, is calling Iraq, is calling Cuba, is calling Russia, is calling all these people their neighbor, then what? They should speak truth to their neighbor instead of lies, or instead of making a false vow or a pledge, instead of pledging that they're not going to interfere any longer with these other nations. So, speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. See, this was given to the Israelites, right? This is given to the Israelites. But that's something that we're supposed to follow as a people. But this could also be applied to these other nations to make an analogy or to prove a point that Esau Edom will never follow the Bible, will never follow even his own laws. He's going to break that pledge. We already see it coming. Zechariah 8 and verse 17. And let none of you imagine, let's jump back here to verse 16. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And that's how peace is, that's how peace could come about. As if you don't go, peace could only come if you execute truth. If you're not executing truth, then peace will never come. And that's the reason why America has been at war for the past 200 and something years of their existence. America has been fighting every war. They go to everybody's land star shit, the big bad bullies of the world. So there's never going to be peace with America. There's never going to be peace with America. That's why these nations are not scared of these nations are not scared of America any longer. America is not the superpower that they used to be back then. Of course, they got nuclear arsenal, nuclear missiles, and a lot of, you know, fighter jets and shit like that. Yes, but they're not like they used to be back then. This Roman government is collapsing, it's falling, it's becoming weaker, and these nations are becoming stronger. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. Verse 17. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. So he just said what? He said peace, right? Just like, matter of fact, let's grab this scripture. Psalms 55 and starting at verse 20. This is what he did with the Native American Indians. Here we go. Psalms chapter 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hands. Hands just represents power. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with them. He hath broken his covenant. Covenant means agreement. So Esau Edom has broken his covenant in agreement with the Native American Indians. As well, he has broken his covenant in agreement with every other nation of people on this earth. Whether it's the Ishmaelites or the Arabs, whether it's the East Indians or Elamites, whether it's other Edomite countries like Russia, they have broken their agreement. These nations have shown nothing but peace to Esau Edom, and what do? They turn their back on these nations and what? Go violate, go rape, go rob, go murder, go pillage their land. And that's what America has done since they've been established. Even before that, they've been established. There was even a time that America was heavily fighting against themselves. The French-American War, Edomites, or Edomites fighting against themselves, amongst themselves. The Spanish-American War, Edomites. The American Revolutionary War, Edomites. The Diadachi Wars, back with the Greeks, Edomites. So these nations have showed you peace. The Native American Indians showed you how to live, how to cultivate lands, how to be clothed in cold climates, how to be warm in cold climates. And what did you go do to the Native American Indians? Backstab them. We showed you everything, and what you go do to us? Backstab us. Just like you're doing right now with Afghanistan. You have pledged that you're not going to start war in these nations no more. You're not going to interfere outside of America any longer. But you know that's a damn fucking lie. That's a damn lie. But is the European Union interfering with them? How about that? They're part of you. America and the European Union are together. They're in agreement. So if the European Union or America or whatever, they feel like slapping sanctions on a country, you don't think they're gonna do it? Of course they're gonna do it. Oh, we're gonna sanction this country, meaning, damn, I know I'm jumping all over the place. Let me finish reading this. Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Right, but war was in his heart. So war was in Esau Edom's mind. Just like Biden pledged to not interfere any longer with any nation, but war is still in his mind. Because you know damn well, no matter if it's a Democratic government, if it's a Republican government, you know damn well these devils are gonna interfere outside of their country or outside of their corporation, which America is a corporation. You know damn well they're gonna interfere with these other nations, with these other countries. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right, because what this devil always conceives in his mind or thinks in his mind is to what? Not to let nobody be at peace. He always wants to interfere with everybody's business. How to run your government, how to bring democracy into a land, how to establish American society in other lands. Like you got McDonald's in other countries. You got strippers in Ishmaelite nations now. Even these Ishmaelites to these Arab nations can't even get their women in order. They're out of order, right? Because of America. Everywhere America goes, they violate. They go to everybody's land and constantly set their own agenda in these other lands. They're trying to establish an American government in the East. What's done in the West is not done in the East. What's done in the East is not done in the West. Meaning these different nations of people, these Easternized people are not going to fall for this Westernized democracy. They're not going to fall for it not unless you're an Edomite, not unless you're part of the European Union. And of course, that's why democracy and all of that shit branches off. That's why they push that vibration into these different nations. That's why America pushes this vibration into these different nations, because they're trying to establish a Western society in an Eastern society. And it's not going to agree. It's not going to agree. These Ishmaelites don't want to hear about your gods. They don't want to hear about your democracy. They don't want to hear nothing about that. Psalms 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So they were drawn swords, meaning he already had it prepared. So he spoke softly, smoothly with his words, but inwardly it was a drawn sword. And who was given the sword? Let's grab it. So, Genesis chapter 27 and verse 39 and 40. Genesis chapter 27, starting at verse 39 and verse 40. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, said unto who? Esau, Edom, which that is the so-called white man. Esau, Edom. They could call themselves white. They're not white. They could call themselves Anglos or Sacs, or whatever they want to call themselves. They're not the angelical sons of Isaac on the right hand side. They're not. They're and that's what Anglo-Saxon means. Angelical sons of Isaac. They're not. They could call themselves white all they want. They're not white. They're red. Esau, Edom. That's his biblical name. Esau, Edom. Genesis 27 and verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. So the fatness represents the entirety of the world. Just not the Okamini or the known world back then with the Roman government, but what? This is really applying to Esau, Edom as taking a foothold on the whole entire world. And that's what we are living in now. We're living in a time that Esau, Edom has the whole entirety of the whole world in his clutches. Back then with the Roman government, he didn't rule the whole entire world. He ruled the known Okamini or the known world back then. But now he rules the whole entire world. Now he rules the whole entire world, and this devil conquers and takes lands by violence. And how does he do it? Verse 40. So this devil has the fatness of the earth. He has everybody's possession in his hands. Verse 40. Genesis chapter 27 and verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, and by thy sword shalt thou live. So what? And this devil has been ruling the earth since he's been a nation of people, since he has governed or taken root as a ruler. Fuck the ancient Roman government. This devil has it all now. Back then he had the ancient Roman government, but now he has it all. So this devil has been ruling by that sword, and that sword represents violence. That's how this devil has taken over lands, by violence. And by thy sword shalt thou live. Salaki. Salaki. So by the sword has the Edomites, or the so-called white man, conquered earth. Conquered the earth by that sword. Conquered nations. Conquered empires, kingdoms. By rape, rob, murder, by deceit, by lies, by false vows, by false pledges. This devil has broken every peace treaty with the Native American Indians. Broken every decree he's ever made. How can you take this devil serious? When the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy, it's not only applying to us looking at him like not to trust our enemy, but it's also applying to who? It's also applying to these other nations, including other Edomites that don't trust this devil. They don't trust this devil because this devil has taken over lands by that sword. That's how this devil has conquered lands, by that sword. All right, so verse 40 again. Genesis chapter 27 and verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And how does devil take over lands? By violence. That's the only way this devil has been conquering earths, all right, or lands, by violence. Okay, so jumping back to Zechariah chapter 8 and verse 17. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. Now the scriptures say what? Love worketh no ill towards his neighbor. Doesn't a white man or Esau, Edom say love this and love that? Every time this devil says love, he really means hate. That's it. This devil cannot show peace. This devil is all about hate, by violence, by trickery, by deceit. He laughs in your face, he smiles in your face, but inwardly he's a ravening wolf. He's a devil. He's a cunning hunter. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. Now that's a law for brotherhood. Our neighbor really goes into brotherhood. You can find that written in Leviticus, the 19th chapter, I believe it is. But the love of the brotherhood, to love our neighbors, not to love. It's not speaking about other nations. But I'm applying the scripture to Esau, Edom, because he has the rulership of the earth. And this devil don't follow the Bible, although he swears in on the Bible. He swears in on the Bible, but he doesn't follow the Bible. So and let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. Don't they say, oh, love everybody? Oh, it's all about love. But this devil has never shown love. Love worketh no ill towards his neighbor. How about the Negroes? Have you shown love to them back then? Are you showing us love now? No. Are you showing kindness and affection and love towards the whole world? What's up with these forced mandates? Is that love? Mandating everybody to get what? A jab. Is that love? Feeding us GMO foods, poisoning the air. Is that love? Teaching your kids transgenderism in the school system. Is that love? Allowing women to run loose out here in society. Running all loose. Is that love? Committing adultery. Fornication. Is that love? Following false gods. Is that love? That sounds like hate to me. And it says here, and love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And the Lord hates you devils, man. Doesn't matter how many of you Edomites cry, how many of your reparations or promises or broken promises or empty promises, I should say, that you speak or that you promise the Israelites. Look, man, we don't want your reparations. We don't want none of that shit. You're not going to repair a broken home. You're not going to repair a broken home. Even Tupac said, turn this house into a broken home. You're not going to turn the native and the northern and southern kingdom, the house of Israel, into no, turn this house into a happy home. That's what it is. Turn this house into a happy home. Why? Because this place is broken. The Israelites are broken. You cannot repair what you have did to the Native American Indians, to the Latinos, to the Negroes. You cannot repair this broken home. and love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith the Lord Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Let's look at that word oath. 8:76:21. Shaba wa'ah, shaba wa'ah, to swear. Shaba'ah, shaba'ah, shaba'ah. I believe that's how you say it. Shaba'ah. Could be wrong. Like I said, I got to go over my Hebrew. So oath, attesting of innocence. Oath, sworn, something sworn. So that's a pledge. Like when you vow something, you're pledging something. You're promising something. You're pledging that you're going to keep a promise or a solemn promise. Oh, we're not going to go into nobody's land no more. We're not going to take over nobody's land no more. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're not going to go in Afghanistan no more. You best believe they're going back in Afghanistan. You best believe. And who funds Afghanistan? Who funds the Taliban? Israel, America. All it's doing is building up and leading up to World War III. That's all it's doing. America is becoming weaker and these nations are becoming stronger. America is becoming a weaker nation, man, and these nations are becoming stronger. But all this is doing is leading up to World War III. This is all the Lord putting these pieces together, putting these different nations to come together, or division amongst these nations, or these different nations to to be set up properly in that Middle East, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh Shaphat, the Lord's judgment, the Middle East. Jehoshaphat, which is the Middle East, where the Lord's judgments are going to take place. See, the Lord's judgments are going to take place in the Middle East. So let's look at that word pledge, right? Let's look at a quick, simple Google search. A solemn promise or undertaking. Promise, undertaking, vow. So that's another word for pledge, like I mentioned. Vow, word of honor. Surety, bond, meaning you have my word on it. Security, meaning secured. I won't break my security. Collateral, guaranteed, deposit. Let's go into, I believe it's Deuteronomy 23. Here's another law that these devils break. There's Deuteronomy chapter 23 and starting at verse 21. Deuteronomy chapter 23 and starting at verse 21. When thou shalt vow a vow unto the Lord thy power, meaning when the Israelites are supposed to vow a vow, or when they vow something to the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay. Now, Joe Biden just pledged that America is not going to invade no outside entity any longer. That's what he said out of his own mouth, right? That's what he said. For the Lord thy power will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee. So if you vow something and you break that vow, it's on you because you broke the end of your agreement. Just like the Israelites, we broke the end of our agreement with the Heavenly Father. Said, look, we ain't gonna do this, we ain't gonna do that. But sure enough, they did. Our people went off. Because our people are full of shit. You say you're gonna do something, but you're not gonna execute that promise. Just like Joe Biden in America, they're not executing any promises. They're gonna tell you, okay, it's all about peace now. We're not gonna invade you. We're not gonna go into your land no more. Oh, never mind Iraq. Oh, Iraq. You went in Iraq by unlawful decrees. You went into Afghanistan by unlawfully. Syria. You bombed Syria unlawfully. You're in Cuba unlawfully. You're all over the fucking place unlawfully. You covered fields and take them by violence like Micah 2 and 2 states. You take the world by violence. You devils have invaded everybody's privacy. That's like going into somebody's home while he fucking. That's like going to somebody's home and breaking through the fucking door. Breaking through the fucking door and saying, you know what, I want your woman. And that's exactly what America has done. They went to everybody's backyard and literally violated and fucked the shit out of them. That's exactly what America has done. You can't say it's a lie because America continues to show the pattern of wickedness throughout the whole entire globe. America was found on rape, rob, and murder. Everything built here in America was found off the seat. Nothing is actually real here in America. Everything is artificially made. That's why they want to create transhumanism. RFID microchips in people. Nanotechnology, Neuralink. Nothing here in America is genuine. It's not true. America breaks their own constitution. How can we take these devils serious? How many treaties have you broken with the Native American Indians? Even the 13th Amendment, when you look at the amendment, that's a violation of the Constitution. Look up the history of the 13th Amendment. The First Amendment has been broken. Freedom of speech, no longer freedom of speech. If it was freedom of speech, they want to take down your videos on YouTube. If it was freedom of speech, I wouldn't have no fucking Edomites around me right now looking at me like and wishing I could fucking stop talking. All right? Trying to stop me from speaking. Trying to make them demons leap on me and to try to overcome me. That right there is a violation. Yeah, it gets deep. But we're bringing out this information. This devil is trying to silence the prophets, man. He's trying to silence the prophets, and we ain't backing down. We ain't stopping for nobody. Isaiah 62 and 6, man. Hold not thy peace. Deuteronomy 23 and 22. But if thou shalt forbear the vow, it shall be no sin in thee. So Joe Biden should have kept his fucking mouth shut. Verse 23. That which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform. So what you speak, you must keep and perform. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna keep that pledge. I'm gonna perform the vow. I'm not gonna break no laws. Oh, don't worry about it. Again, we're not gonna go into nobody's land anymore. We're not gonna take over nobody's land anymore. Don't worry about it, people. It's all gonna be peace, equality. Ain't nothing gonna go wrong. Oh, don't worry about it, people. You know, everything is all peace, right? But this devil inwardly is he's a cunning hunter. That's one of Esau Edom's traits, one of Esau Edom's characteristics, is to be a cunning hunter, a crafty deceiver. Just like he goes into the woods, into the wilderness, and boom, he hunts you jakes down. You know, and that's what he does here in these ghettos with the police force. You know, that's why they got the hound dogs out on you jakes back then in the 50s, 40s, and 60s. Now they got the German Shepherds on you jakes. Mainly on the tribe of Judah and the so-called Puerto Ricans, the tribe of Ephraim. So Joe Biden is not properly fit to rule. No Edomite is properly fit to rule this earth. Look what America has accomplished since they've been a so-called nation. 1776. Look what they have accomplished. Matter of fact, let's type in how many wars has America been in since they have accomplished. Let's look that up. How many wars has America fought since 1776? Okay, it says here, list of wars involving the United States. You go into the 18th centuries, it clearly gives you a rundown of wars with the Native American Indians, with the Spanish Empire, with the French Empire, German, all Iroquois, Mohawks, Cayugas, Senecas, Cherokees, Native American Indians, right up here to the north. okay? But I really want to get how many wars in general. Let's look that up. How many wars? Okay. All right, it's talking about it's actually 200 and something wars altogether. But here it is. I'll read this one off. The United States at war, Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Mexican War, the Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War. You better put World War III coming up on that one. Put that on the list as well. That's going to be the last war. Vietnam War, Persian Gulf War, Afghanistan War, Iraq War, Cold War, nicknames for United States soldiers. All right, Iraq War. But it's over 200 and something wars. I can't really, they're saying major wars, but there was more wars than that. Damn, I can't find that one, but it's all good. Foreign wars. Let's look at foreign wars. United States military action and war, 1777 till 1994. All right, don't let me go into it. All right, but anyway, there was plenty of wars that these devils fought. Since what? They became America, since it was called America. Right? This Micah chapter, let's go back into the title. Okay, Russia, once again on RT News, Russia welcomes Biden's pledge that Afghanistan is end of era for United States interference abroad, saying world may be quieter in future, and it's not going to be quiet because the elements shall, I'm over here jumping all over the place. All right, because the scriptures say the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and that's going to be a loud noise. America's going to be taken out in a loud, it's going, like they say, the Big Bang Theory. Well, it's gonna go out with a loud noise. Boom. Okay? And that's by what? The ICBM nuclear missiles, that fiery serpent, that glittering sword that cometh out of his gall. Russia top diplomat has applauded American President Joe Biden's admission that his country's efforts in Afghanistan were misguided and that Washington now needs to refrain from repeating such large-scale foreign interventions. 20 years, you couldn't see it was misguided? 20 years in that fucking place. Or 21 years, you can't see it was misguided? That shows you the hypocrisy and the arrogancy of these fucking Edomites. They refused to leave everybody's land. Australia was conquered by the Edomites. Europe was conquered by the Edomites. America was conquered by the Edomites. Africa was conquered by the Edomites. Ireland, Britain was conquered by the Edomites. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Wednesday that there appeared to be a newfound belief in Western capitals that such attempts to reshape foreign nations in their own image with open-ended military operation were doomed to fail. So right, you're trying to, here we go. Matter of fact, let's finish reading this and I'll grab a scripture. In a speech earlier this week in the aftermath of the United States withdrawal from Kabul, Biden said that as we turn the page on the foreign policy that has guided our nation the last 2 decades, we've got to learn from our mistakes. They're not going to learn. Don't trust your enemy. He's going to repeat the same thing. He's going to repeat the same exact thing. Like the scriptures say, I'll grab it. Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be done. So what you vowed back then, and you broke your former vows, you're gonna break your vows that you're making now with these countries. Your solemn vows, your solemn pledges. And that which is done is that which shall be done. So what was done back then, you breaking decrees with the Native American Indians, you breaking decrees with these other nations, you're gonna do it. You're gonna repeat the same exact thing over and over again. That's why history repeats itself, right? So if you led the Israelites into slavery, your ass gotta go into slavery too. Selling the Latinos, the Native American Indians, or the so-called Negroes into captivity, you gotta go into slavery too. The Most High is not gonna quit these devils and say, let bygones be bygones. Let's forget about it. That's what these people in society believe, that the Most High forgot what you did to his people. You actually believe that the Most High thinks like you people out here. Like, oh no, don't worry about it. We ain't forget nothing. The Most High, your power forgot everything we did to you. Just like in a society, if you got a warrant for your arrest, these devils is coming for you. All right? They got a tab on you. Well, the Most High got a tab on you devils too. What you did to his people, what? There's a tab that must be paid, and you're gonna pay by how? By your blood. Right? You're gonna pay with your blood. Ecclesiastes 1, so you going into slavery too. Ecclesiastes, pursuing of what? Revelation, the 13th chapter, verse 9 and 10. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. This devil has been raping, robbing, murdering everybody's land. And guess what? He's still gonna do it. The same devil that smiles in your face, the same devil that conquers everybody by violence is gonna continue to repeat that same behavior over and over. He's gonna repeat that same behavior. They can laugh all in your face. They can walk by you, laugh, scorn, mock when brothers out there on the highways and byways thinking they gonna get away with it. But guess what? They're delusional. The Most High said, well, he should send them a strong delusion. One of those delusions is that Esau Edom believes that he's going to escape his slavery or his punishments, plural. There's gonna be plenty of punishments in the kingdom. So there's no new thing under the sun. As the saying goes, history repeats itself. I ain't come up with that saying, but that goes, it is. It comes from us. There's no new thing under the sun. We're the former of all things. Yeah, it comes from us. Nobody escapes their judgment. Even Edomites out here, you got certain Edomites out here in society believe, you know what? Our forefathers got to pay for what we did to the Hebrew Israelites. They even admit that. We got to pay for what we did for putting on cargo slave ships. We got to pay for feeding them GMO foods, for trying to change their DNA or alter their DNA. We got to pay for that. These devils have to pay. See that? He just admitted it. Good looking, you devil. They got to pay for that. See how the Most High's power is? A fucking Edomite rides by right now and says, goddamn right. They got to pay for it. He ain't know what the hell I was speaking about. Oh, Salaka, what I was saying. But the Spirit had him to say, goddamn right, because they're going to pay for it. There's no new thing under the sun, man. Verse 10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? Right, Esau Edom is new, is not new. That's why he's called the old serpent of old, the deceiver of old. That deadly wound, when this devil's wound was healed during the time of the Renaissance period, that's when these devils started conquering the earth, during the time of the age of exploration or the age of discovery. There is nothing new under the sun. This is going to be the same devil from before is the same devil now. The same joker from before. The same smiley, deceptive devil from before. It had been already of old time, which was before us. So what happened back then is happening now. So the pledge with not invading these other lands, guess what? That's already a broken decree, and all the brothers in the truth already see it coming. Even people outside of the truth already see this happening already. This devil is gonna go back in Afghanistan and do his bullshit once again. We already see it coming. This the same exact devil from back then. The same old serpent of old. There's nothing new under the sun. It's the same devil. Esau has not changed. Matter of fact, oh man, hold on. Crooked. This Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked, matter of fact, let's Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Although both of them get to the point. But anyway, Ecclesiastes 7 and 13. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked. Now the works of God was to create Esau, Edom as that crooked serpent of old. So the Most High is the one who created these devils. Really, Yahweh Shai. Through the Most High, the Heavenly Father, that created Esau, Edom to be who the fuck he is. This devil is not going to change. A leper can't change his spots. That spirit is going to remain in this devil. His spirit is not upright in him. It's always going to remain in this devil. So can a crooked thing be made straight? Let me read this again right here where it says, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said on Wednesday that there appeared to be a newfound belief in Western capitals that such attempts to reshape foreign nations in their own image with open-ended military operations were doomed to fail. So right, you bringing that westernized world into an Eastern society. You're trying to, here we go, here's the scripture right here. Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 15. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and woe means destruction. So woe unto him that giveth his neighbor's drink. And what type of drink is Esau, Edom, or the white man, or Esau, Edom given to their neighbors, since they say they love the whole world, since there's such, in their belief, there's equality. Meanwhile, how can you call war equality? How can you call invading another country equality? You can't call white, black, black, white. You can't call red, brown, brown, red. That's not equality. Oak tree is not a palm tree. A German shepherd is not a pit bull. That's not equality. Okay? You see that? Yeah. There's no such thing as equality on earth. But Esau, Edom, the white man says, love everybody. They never showed us love. Who showed you Israelites on cargo slave ships? Who was it? What the Tooth Fairy did? Who built New York City? What was it? See, these devils are full of shit, man. They're full of shit. Okay? A Negro is not a Hamite. A Hamite is not a Negro. All right? The tribe of Ephraim is not the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah is not the tribe of Ephraim. Everything has a division on this earth. So woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, and that's democracy. That's philosophy. That putteth thy bottle to him, meaning you're forcing it down these nations' throats. Like, here, drink this. And maketh them drunken also. Why? Because Esau, Edom, in the American society are drunk. They're drunk off of religion. They follow different deities, false gods. That's why this place is called Babylon. Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon. They have the same customs as the ancient empires of old. The same exact customs. They repeat the same method, the same shit over and over again. Giving women liberty, that goes back to the Greeks. The goddess Artemis, the goddess Diana, Ishtar, Babylon, it goes back to the Babylonians, the Greeks. Laodicea, Bernice, the Greeks. All this shit is the same, the colleges. the Alpha Beta, or whatever they call that shit, the fraternities. Go back to the Greeks, Roman numerals, the Romans. The virgin birth, the Babylonian deity. That's not biblical, man. Hell, burning in hell forever, goes back to Hades, which just simply means grave. Well, Hades was the god of the underworld, but the equivalent to Hades or hell in the New Testament will be the grave. Simply means the grave. In the Old Testament will be Sha'al, which is the grave. Ain't no such thing as somebody burning in hell forever. So Esau Edom is drunk here in America. The people here in America are severely drunk with philosophy. That's why these people come over here, these tourists come over here to New York or to Los Angeles, or, well, you ain't gonna get no good attraction over there in Detroit, I can tell you that. No tourist attraction over there in Detroit. But, you know, but they come to these major cities and, you know, take these pictures. They go to, you know, like you got like American architecture. The Statue of Liberty goes back to Liberdade, the goddess Libertas. Liberdade, which means freedom, because here in America, you're free to do whatever you want. You could be a homo, you could be a lesbian, you could be a dyke, you could be a murderer, a drug dealer, extortioner, you can money laundry, you know, commit money laundering. You could do whatever you want in this society. These devils know what's going on, but they'll bust you for certain crimes, but they know what's going on, because they themselves do it themselves. This thing is deadly serious, man. You hearing it from the prophets. Ain't nobody gonna be demonized as much as the prophets when we bringing out this truth. Nobody here in this world is gonna be demonized like us brothers hearing the truth, man. You're not gonna be demonized like us. And I'm over here by myself doing a video. Just imagine when brothers get together at camp. Brothers get together doing sit-downs together, bringing out all this information. It's overwhelming. We cutting these devils, man. They're hurt. They're severely hurt. Right? It says here, woe unto him that giveth, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 15. And Habakkuk, in the vision that Habakkuk was given, what is speaking now? Is speaking in these times. Because Habakkuk, even he himself, had to discontinue from his heritage. So it wasn't only Jeremiah. It was Habakkuk as well. Ezekiel as well. John the Revelator as well. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh them drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Right, because none of these nations really have the truth. None of these nations really have the truth. They're ashamed. When people look at countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, people look at them with great disdain or with great shame, like, damn. Ishmael, I'm gonna be honest, Ishmael used to really have a higher level of power back then. I'm not even talking about only Dubai. Dubai ain't shit compared to what Ishmael back then used to have as far as riches. During the time of the Caliph and or the Mohammedan conquest, these Ishmaelites had a lot back then. They did. They conquered during the time of Muhammad, during the time of like 6-something AD. They started conquering nations. But now people looking at Afghanistan, which you do have Elamites in there as well though, but Ishmaelites like, who the fuck is these motherfuckers? No, but look, and if you look at the history of Afghanistan, they ran out the British out of there. They ran Russia out of there back in 1991. They ran the Soviet Union out of there back in 91. They ran America out of there, showing you that America is becoming weak and these nations are becoming stronger. So let me just drop Habakkuk chapter 2. Let's go into Joel chapter 3. America is decreasing in strength. This is how you know this place is deteriorating. The foundation is becoming, it's being overcome by corruption. America is being overcome by corruption. This place is going to be taken out by violence. The same way it was found is going to be taken out by violence. America was found by violence. by rape, rob, and murder. So anyway, Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. Proclaim he this among the Gentiles, meaning these other nations, prepare war. This is speaking about natural Gentiles, these Gentiles, non-Israelite nations, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So who are the weak? These different nations, because Afghanistan is hard to conquer, just like Iran is hard to conquer. But America is going to be easy to conquer because every nation is against America. Matter of fact, round about her, assemble yourselves, a great assembly of nations round about her. Let's get that. Here we go. Beautiful scripture to go into. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. For lo, in the beginning of this verse, it talks about, let me see something. I gotta go back into, all right, cool. Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9. Scriptures jump around. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. So there's gonna be a lot of nations coming up against America. Every nation on earth knows that America is full of shit. The East is pissed the fuck off. These nations are mad. Everybody knows that America's full of shit. China knows that Esau Edom, the white man, is full of shit. Libya, Ethiopia, Russia, Iran, Iraq, North Korea, Japan. They even know that America's full of shit. Okay, and let me read that again. For lo, I will raise and cause to cause up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Just like the scripture say, I believe in Joel, none shall break their ranks. If I quoted that right, none shall break their ranks. Meaning every nuclear missile is going to hit its target. America is going to be taken out by ICBM nuclear missiles. And we know through prophecy, the Heavenly Father created the Smith, which are these German scientists, to create the separatings of atoms, whatever you call that shit. I'm not getting into that deep because I don't know shit about that. But we know for a fact that the Most High created the German scientist Esau Edom to create nuclear missiles. Iran has them. Russia has them. America has them. North Korea has them. India has them. You see? And the Most High got the power to make these nations push the button even if they refuse or try to say, you know what, I'm not going to do it. The Most High got the power to make them press the buttons through the angels. The angels are going to make these people blow themselves up. And yes, it's a fact, and it's going to happen, and it's a guarantee. You heard it first from the Hebrew Israelites. Really, the men of Great Millstone. Really, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And whatever order that came down from. After Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So what are these expert men? Okay, what is an expert man? What is an expert? Somebody that's equipped to know exactly how to hit their target. So these nations know exactly how to hit their target. Iran knows how to hit its target. Russia knows how to hit their target. Type in nuclear missiles of Russia and it will give you a list. And we're not talking about atomic bombs. We're not talking about the atomic bombs that were used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We're talking about nuclear missiles that now have 100 times the capacity of the atomic bombs. You know, they're stronger. One nuclear missile can wipe out the whole eastern seaboard. Could take the eastern part of America, New Jersey, the New England area, the DMV, okay, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, could wipe this whole fucking place out. And guess what? We ain't gonna have to see none of you lesbians and no fucking dykes or pedophiles any longer. We ain't gotta see no gangbangers, no murderers, no thugs, no 2/3 of even our own people any longer. We ain't gotta see Esau Edom's face any longer. Because this place gonna be a lake of fire. We gonna be laughing at you devils from them chariots. What is an expert man? Let's go into it. An expertise. He's an expert. Expert man. To be prudent, to be circumspect, wisely understand, prosper. That's why the scriptures say what? Thou art wiser than Daniel. Well, really, they're not wiser, of course, on the right-hand side because they're on the left, but they are wise to do evil. Even like our people, they're wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Well, Esau Edom created what? Atomic bombs, nuclear missiles that are going to blow America up. It's only going to backfire on them. You're going to have to use these weapons. You're not just going to parade them like North Korea or China does down the streets and say, this is my nuclear fire, my nuclear weapon. I mean, these fucking deaf fucking heathens. Okay, to look at or upon, have insight, to cause to prosper. And that's exactly what these nations are gonna do. They're gonna cause to prosper in World War III. America was created to be destroyed. This is what these people don't get. America was named, check this out, America was named after a so-called white man, right? As well as Africa. Now, the way the Most High got a sense of humor, the way he does things, he'll let you think that you're prospering and getting away with murder. And what? The angels are right there to set you devils up. The pride, oh, I named it America, I'm gonna last forever. No, the nuclear missiles, just like you devils claim to you conquer nations and you put an American flag in that particular, when you topple down Saddam Hussein, you planted an American flag in Iraq or Babylon, which Iraq is, you know, or where Babylon is, you planted an American flag. Well, the Most High is gonna do that with a nuclear missile. It's gonna be engraved in American society forever. It ain't gonna be called America when it's done. How about that? It ain't gonna be called America no more. Though this place has one of the weakest infrastructure, and these people are happy walking around breathing their own chemtrails and polluted air that their own people polluted. These people are fucking delusional, man. These people are highly delusional. To lay crosswise. To lay crosswise. You see that? To prosper, have success. And that's what those expert men are gonna do, these other nations, this great assembly of different nations. They're round about her. They're gonna burn her with fire. So many scriptures to go into dealing with World War III and prophecy. Brothers, to be in the spirit of prophecy. There's nothing wrong with going into history, because I do it. Brothers do it. Brotherly love, you got it. We touch upon every subject here. We don't leave nothing out. Even if we go off, we admit we go off. How about that? We ain't biting our tongues, not even for our own selves. We rebuke ourselves, damn it. You know, I just wanted to grab that because America has been feeding these different nations with democracy, philosophy. They put that bottle to these other nations' mouths and forced them to drink that shit. They stuffed it in them. Okay? They stuffed it in them. If the European Union is down with something, America's down with something. The NATO is down with it. That beast is down with him. This the last kingdom here, man. Esau Edom is about to be taken out. Literally about to be blown off the face of the map. And you ain't gonna be conquering nobody's land any longer. And yes, I could have went more into the article, but fuck it. Right? It says here, despite United States humiliation in Afghanistan, Russia not gloating over chaos and only worried about region, Moscow's top diplomat says. Because these devils fuck everything up, man. You know, it's crazy. I believe this is the same bridge you see right here that Moscow or the Russians left back in 1991 when the first Russian soldier, or when it was called the Soviet Union, crossed. I believe it's the same exact bridge. Might be wrong. But anyway, oh, matter of fact, check this out. Let me read this right quick. The moment is very interesting, Lavrov said. Both of them, with a gap of just 1 or 2 days, announced that it was time to wrap up interference in the internal affairs of other countries with aims to impose Western-style democracy on them. That's why we go into Revelation, the 13th chapter, and speak about what? That lamb that spoke peaceably. But he was like a dragon. Right? That the Republicans and the Democrats, that goes back to the Roman Empire, or even the Greeks. They were all Edomites. So you see that? To impose Western-style democracy on them. That's what America's been doing, imposing Western-style democracy on other nations. Back in the East, nobody even, when Esau Edom was back in the East, they started this democracy shit. You look at during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, trying to create a new world or a new one world government. E pluribus unus. I was over there not the Port Authority in Penn Station, New York yesterday, and I walked by the Amtrak station, and I seen the big ass letters, E pluribus unus, out of many we are one. And that goes into Esau Edom's democracy, man. America is falling. Everybody can see America falling, man. This place is Satan against Satan, man. Just like our Lord Yahweh Shai spoke, Satan against Satan. And this place is crumbling, man. It's spiraling down the drain. It's already halfway down the drain, man. And with that, I'd like to give all praise. And you know I left out plenty of scriptures, but you know what? As long as I prove the point, on to the next one. Shalom. All praise, glory, now to see Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim, Harakak Shalom.